Hey guys, what's going on? So today we are talking about team compositions in Overwatch. For a long time, the meta was 2-2-2. It still kind of is, but there is a new meta coming along with 3-2-1, and that means 3 tanks, 2 healers, and 1 DPS. First, let's talk about the still kind of meta 2-2-2. This is 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 2 DPS. This means a comp looking something like Reinhardt, Zarya, Lucio, Mercy, Junkrat, and Soldier, or something along those lines. Basically 2 damage dealers, 2 support, and 2 tanks, right? And this is what I'm seeing most of in competitive, and when it's not like that, when we only say have 1 healer or 1 tank or something, I get a little bit uncomfortable because I know that most of the time when I win in a competitive match, it's with this setup. 2 tanks, 2 support, 2 DPS, and so this is what I'm comfortable with. And I think it does work really well. But there is another popular team comp running around, and that's 3 tanks, 2 support, and 1 DPS. But there's a lot of discussion, at least on the forums, about team composition, what's better, and I think a lot of that comes down to what the individual players are good with, and what enemy team you're facing. So, you know, for example, a noob Roadhog isn't going to perform as well as, say, someone who is really, really good with Reaper. I mean, if you can't land your hooks and you don't know where to go and you're just dying, you're basically useless, right? But if you're like really good with Reaper and you can flank and get those kills and clear a path for your team and whatever. So ultimately it's kind of hard to say what the best comp is, but right now like the competitive meta I've heard is either 3 tanks, 2 supports, and 1 DPS, or simply 3 tanks and 3 supports. And there are also some people saying 4 DPS, just 1 tank and 1 healer works also well. So 1 like dedicated healer, you know, either a Mercy or a Lucio, someone whose basically main job is to heal. I think Lucio's heal might be a little bit too weak to be a solo healer, but if the group does stay together, it can be pretty powerful, at least keeping everyone topped off, you know, at full health. I mean, it's a little bit off topic, but supports are really only as good as the rest of the team. A lot of supports can't really do much in the way of killing enemies or getting them off of the point. Some supports like Zenyatta are an exception. They can kill, they can throw that Discord orb. He has pretty powerful attacks, and so this is maybe why the 3-3 is popular, because Zenyatta will most likely be in there and he can kind of act as a DPS as well. Then there's the question, are you a solo queuer or do you go with a group? If you go with a group, usually you will know what you're going to pick, because you know the rest of the group will be working with you and you will kind of have your place in that group, you know. With solo queue it's a lot different. I mean, personally what I'm doing is I'm insta-locking my favorite hero, which is Soldier 76, and by the time the rest of the people pick theirs, if we need a different hero, then I'm going to swap out to another hero that I am comfortable with playing. So for example, if we have like 3 DPS and only 1 tank, then I'll switch out to Reinhardt. Hopefully the other tank isn't Reinhardt, because Reinhardt is basically the only tank I'm decent with, but whatever, that's not really the point. But yeah, in some games it ends up like that, where after the entire team is complete, there's like 1 healer or 1 tank, and I'm like, okay, what the hell do I do? Do I bring in a second tank? Do I bring in a second healer? These guys aren't willing to change, I'm gonna change, but these guys don't want to. And on one hand, I can understand that some players may only be really good with 1 or 2 characters or something, and they don't feel comfortable with switching, and I understand that. I'm only good with like maybe 3 or 4 characters, like 1 from each segment, so I can fill a role if totally needed, but I am most comfortable with just a few. 2-2-2 is my favorite team comp. I think it works the best, at least where I'm at, which is low to mid gold. The point with 2-2-2 is that even if someone dies, there will be a replacement. If your Mercy dies, you have Lucio to keep healing. If Soldier dies, you have Pharah to keep the killing going. If Zarya dies, you have Reinhardt to keep protecting, etc. The 6 heroes I mentioned are what I generally like to see as a team, at least in the beginning. We may have to switch things up mid-battle depending on the enemy, and then of course you have to take into consideration if you're on attack or defense, the specific map where some heroes shine more than others, and so forth. And then there are the heroes like Maid that don't really fall into a specific category, but are really awesome in some teams. All in all, if you're in the lower ranks like I am, I recommend sticking to the 2-2-2 team comp for now, and maybe trying out the 3-2-1 comp or even the 3-3 comp if the opportunity arises. And if you're in the higher ranks like Diamond and above, you're probably not watching this. That'll be all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If so, don't forget to drop a like. I really do appreciate it. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time.